Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was founded by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, who met in and attended Merritt College in Oakland. When in Merritt College, both Huey Newton and Bobby Seale were members of the Afro-African Association and the Revolutionary Action Movement. The two were leading even before the formation of the Black Panther Party, by leading the Seoul Students Advisory Council, which integrated black studies into the curriculum, which carries on to today. Cop Watch. After leaving the SSAC, after deferring options, Seale and Newton formed the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. The first act was to instill a cop watch, which observed and followed police cars on the streets of LA until they stopped someone. After stopping a car, they would get out and hold firearms, while reminding both the officers and the people being pulled over of their rights. This was all done within the law, as they had the right to bear arms. The Black Panther Party gained the respect of those in the Bay Area after they shed light on the racist police violence which had been going on at the time. Armed protests at Sacramento Capitol building in response to the cop watch in LA, California legislature established a bill to limit the amount of weapons one can carry in public. This directly targeted the Panthers. In retaliation, they stormed the Capitol building in Sacramento carrying firearms. 24 men and 6 women. They passed Governor Ronald Reagan and walked onto the floor of the state senate. Legislation aimed at keeping black people disarmed and powerless, read Bobby Seale. The protest gained national coverage and the Mulford Act was quickly passed. After a string of rebellions in major U.S. cities, the Black Panther Party took a turn in these focuses. Instead of focusing on self-defense, they decided to shift into Black Power, a phrase made by leader of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, Stokely Carmichael, during the 1966 march in Greenwood, Mississippi. With the shift emerged an idea. The 10-point program are ideas which the Black Panther Party stands for. These ideals shape what they are and give us insight to what their goals are. Beyond the struggles which black people face from the police, they also face oppression from the government. That is what the 10-point program was designed to highlight. COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program by the FBI, or COINTELPRO, was how the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation conducted domestic operations in hopes to legally survey, disrupt, and infiltrate domestic organizations which were deemed seditious. In one instance, they had plans to expose the pregnancy of a financial supporter of the Black Panther Party, actress Jean Seberg, to potentially tarnish her image and cause her embarrassment with the general public. Plans to discredit members and patrons of an organization were also found against feminist organizations, Chicano and Mexican-American movements, and the anti-Vietnam War organizers, further proving the oppression which the Panthers were fighting against. Free Breakfast for Children program, 1969. The Free Breakfast for Children program was a community service program held and led by the Panthers. It starts in West Oakland at the Father Errol A. Neal's St. Augustine Episcopal Church. It embodied the social mission envisioned by early founders Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. They served breakfast for poor inner-city children and created centers for the youth and their families to eat and learn about black liberation and the Panthers' efforts. People versus Newton. In 1968, Huey P. Newton was convicted of a manslaughter for the murder of a police officer while in struggle with Newton. Newton testified saying he was unconscious during the time of the incident, and the trial judge did not inform the biased and misinformed jury of the defense, which the subject of unconsciousness has to charge of a criminal homicide. The court failed to instruct the jury of the significance of his unconsciousness as a defense to his charge, which is known as prejudicial error. Brandsburg versus Hayes. In 1972, news reporter Brandsburg was called to testify on 2 occasions based on his observing and interviewing of people who either synthesized or used drugs in the 2-county area in Kentucky. Brandsburg refused. Similarly, in the U.S. versus Caldwell, 2 reporters, Pappas and Caldwell, refused to appear before their respective grand juries. Both covered activity within the Black Panther Party organization. BPP versus Cahal. A case before the California 3rd District Court of Appeal in 1974 dealing with the unethical practices by collection agencies. Case established prejudice such as the exemptions of Statute 6254 and permissive and not mandatory, which means the department in public interest may override it, as well as exempt documents can be selectively released but must be released to the entire public, and the written complaints filed with the state licensing agencies are exempt under Statute 6254. United States versus United States District Court, Keith case. In 1972, this case dealt with the issue of whether the government could wiretap domestic groups without a warrant. The court ruled that the government has to be Black Panther Party versus Smith. In 1981, the Panthers sued federal and local officials alleging they had harassed them and illegally surveyed them under COINTELPRO. The court acknowledged the serious constitutional violations but dismissed claims against officials as they had qualified immunity.
Current issues. Disbandment and the new Black Panther Party. As of current times, the Black Panther Party is a thing of the past, ended in 1982 due to internal issues including fund misuse, violence against party members, and drug and alcohol abuse. The new Black Panther Party, a party started in 1989 in replacement of the original Black Panther Party, is considered a racist hate group. Not only have they completely misinterpreted the legacy of the original Black Panther Party has established, they encourage anti-Semitism, anti-white rhetoric, and extreme black nationalist ideologies. These things only tarnish the image the BPP once had, essentially destroying their hard work in implementing the message of equality. Systemic racism. Systemic racism is still an issue today, though not exactly to the degree of which it once was while the BPP was still active. There is still racial violence, verbal discrimination, police brutality, and all other racial issues in the world today.